What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Jason Ackerman, back again to answer a question from one of our listeners coming to us via email, besthouroftheirday@gmail.com. This is a pretty specific email, and I've gone back and forth with the person that asked the question, and they really want to remain anonymous. So I'm going to do my best to give you guys the gist of the question, but also keep it pretty generic. So, the general question is as such. This person coaches at a box, and several of the other coaches at their box do their own programming. Surprise, surprise. A couple in particular never attend classes, and they come in during non-class time, follow one of the more popular competitor programming out there. And this person goes on to say, I think they probably fall into the local competitor category, which to me means, hey, you're okay. You're an okay exerciser. And I don't see them going any farther than that. No wonder they want to stay a little anonymous. There's been some drama, no surprise there when it comes to interfering with regular classes. And they have been talked to and told to, make sure they're not going to interfere with what's going on in your typical class time. And they go on, lastly to say, the root of this is that they're doing their own programming and they're not a part of the community. And I've spoken about this in the past quite a few times on the show, and I've spoken about it with some of the box owners and coaches that Fern and I work with in coaches development. And this has got to go. You can't have I don't think you should have anyone at your box doing their own programming. That goes from a member all the way up to the chain to the owner of the box, but I would say that rule is even more important when it comes to the coaching staff because your members see the coaching staff in a different light. They look up to them, they respect them. Typically, the coaching staff are a little fitter. Granted, these guys are, local competitors. They're probably decent, right? Your average member wants their first muscle up. They want to, PR their deadlift. They want to snatch 135 or 95. And when you can do those things, even if you're just average, you look like Superman, right? If you can string together 7 bar muscle ups, the average person at your gym thinks you're Matt Frazier or Tia Claire. So the people look up to you. But here's the bigger issue that I see with this stuff is the local avid you know fitness enthusiast that thinks they're special. They just need a talking to. Someone needs to grab them and shake them and say you're not that good at this thing, and you're spending way too much time here at the gym. Like, go get yourself a hobby. Like, what was the last book you read? Do you have a significant other? When was the last time you guys went on a date night? Do you have a dog? When was the last time you spent some quality time with your dog and took it for a walk? And B, you're gonna hurt yourself. Yeah, you're 20 or maybe you're 30, but you're putting in way too much volume on your body, and it's completely unnecessary. I think the fittest I've been, and it potentially is right now, is when I just go to class. I mean, I go to a little box, it's Ralston Creek CrossFit, and the only thing I do is class. If I'm not doing class, I'm maybe incorporating some stretching. I stretch maybe 20 minutes every day. I go on multiple walks every day. I try to go for a walk after every time I eat something. It's good for your digestion. I have 3 dogs, and I'm constantly taking one or two of them for a walk at a time. My wife's pregnant, and we have a Peloton here. I might hop on the bike, but I'm not doing more CrossFit because I understand, intensity is what gives me results, and I don't need to do more. I need to do better. If I'm going to be doing more, it's what can I be doing to improve my movement pattern, to keep me from getting injuries, to help me recover. So I think that's the big takeaway here. On yesterday's episode when the person was asking about their box owners, I don't think it's any different here. I think 99% of problems in this world can be fixed by better communication. And I think this is something where someone needs to communicate with them. And maybe it's not the person who wrote to me, maybe it's not their role to have that, but maybe you need to have a chat with the owner who then needs to have a more serious chat. And if it's, hey, if these handful of coaches, if it's that important to them, the owner needs to be willing to lose them as coaches and as members of the community. And if that's not the case, it's no longer their fault, it's his or her fault, the owner's fault. Because if you're not willing to take that control and you're not willing to really lay it down and say, hey, this is my gym, these are my rules, and my rules state that you hit classes, and if you want to do a little extra, that's fine, but you cannot do it during class time. But the foundation of your training needs to be the workout of the day that the entire community does. And if you're not willing to abide by that, I'm sorry, we don't have a place for you here. If you're not willing to say that, it's no longer their fault. You need to take ownership, and now that's your fault. That's your responsibility. So, we've talked about this numerous times. It's twofold. One, they truly don't need it, but two, it's up to us to make sure they understand why they don't need it and also why it's important. They probably don't realize, hey, these members, Sally and Johnny and Julie and Bill, they look up to me, and I want to be that example for them and show them, hey, like this is what I do too. Like I come in and I hit the same workouts, whether it's Cindy or Fran or 5x5 back squat, I do the same exact thing as you, and these are the results I'm getting, and you can get them as well. So here's the deal. You have to have a conversation with them, and it has to really be laid out. Hey, this has got to stop. It's got to stop starting right now. Going forward, you can do class and you can do a little extra on your own outside of class time. As soon as class starts, you're done. That means if you're in the middle of a 15-minute Metcon and you're 3 minutes in, clocks off, bars down, you're done. Because that's really the issue, isn't it? That they're distracting class and they're taking away from the space, the equipment. One of my biggest pet peeves is if I'm trying to give a whiteboard brief and someone's on the assault bike doing sprints, it's noisy as fuck and people can't hear me, right? I don't need you distracting class. These people came from work. This is the best hour of their day. I want their full attention for the 5 minutes I'm briefing them. And then I want you out of their way when they're here to work out. So you got to have that hard conversation with them. And hey, maybe they'll be happy. Maybe that's what they want. Maybe they don't really want to work that hard. And hearing it from you will be exactly what they needed to get them to actually stop beating their bodies up. So have that conversation, get back to me, let me know what the results are, and hopefully, we can maintain them as assets and strong members of the community, give your members, someone else to look up to and keep your community strong because the I don't have many regrets when it comes to box ownership, but if I had to put one out there, it would be the period of time where everyone was doing their own shit and it just really crippled my community. And I don't want to see that happening for you. So I hope that helps. Thanks again for listening to Best Hour of Their Day. If you haven't already, do us a favor, head over to the Apple Podcast app and leave us a review. We'd love to hear from you if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feedback for either Fern or myself. Hit us up, besthouroftheirday@gmail.com, or send us a DM over on Instagram at Best Hour of Their Day. Once again, we couldn't do this without the amazing community, and you are a part of it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting Best Hour of Their Day.